Greetings traveler, Challenger here. Today I am playing Diablo 2 Resurrected with what might be the most demented way to play. I will choose Barbarian for this specific purpose and will only use explosive and poison throwable potions to beat the game. I was thinking of doing this with any other class, but because of the changes introduced in Resurrected version, this just makes sense, so let the challenge begin. Rules. I am only using explosive and toxic throwable potions to deal damage to beat the game. I don't think this is actually possible past normal, so let's see how far we can go. You probably already know that there are these potions in the game that you cannot actually drink, but rather can be thrown at monsters to deal some damage, or most of the times just sold to the vendors for some gold. There are two types of those: fire potions and poison ones. Each type has 3 different potions that deals more damage and requires higher levels, but for now I need to get some of those as they cannot be bought as I initially thought. Because Barbarian starts with hatchet and shield, there is no way to really begin this unless I find some potions to throw or shrines that will drop me some. But to my dismay, first one that I found was Strangling Gas Potion, which requires level 6, thus I cannot use it for now. After like 15 minutes of running around at the Bloodmoor, I got Fulminating Potion, but another problem as every throwing weapon, those two have quantity, and it is limited and it cannot be repaired, so farming continues. At one point I found an Explosion Shrine, but it only gives explosive potions which require level 12 to use. My god, what a disaster. I am doing this farming on players 8 just to get more loot drops from the chest, rocks and whatever there is. And I also tested these potions. 2 of them on this setting can kill the Fallen and they are doing single target damage. Okay, it seems I was wrong. It has very small splash radius. So I gathered about 60 of those and now I need to get to level 6. Nothing else matters really, or rather without that, run is literally impossible. Now another point I need to make. I found this very nice rare shield. Only problem is that it has this modifier that attacker takes 1 point of damage, so I cannot really use it and believe that would be a major upgrade in this situation. Finally, after like 2 hours of running around and occasionally killing monsters, I hit level 6. And with it the most important skill of this run, Throwing Mastery. It improves attack rating, damage, gives chance for critical hit and pierce, but what is most crucial in this challenge, it has chance to not consume quantity and replenish it on critical strike. As you can see, it works. Although chance is low, somehow works better than it should. How? Because Barbarian is an absolute Chad, he can dual wield those, so I can have fire in one hand and poison in another. The latter one currently creates small poison cloud that affects anyone that steps in it, dealing quite nice damage for the time. Jesus, doing Den of Evil on level 6 seems like a bad dream. I am not getting Mercenary in this run since that would be cheating and I don't allow myself to have any different source of damage. That would be way too easy, so let's get Deckard to show him my stupid self so he can scold me in front of the entire town. No, I actually ran out of potions to throw right in the middle of Countess fight. So far the worst part of this whole challenge is the fact to remember to pick the stupid potions off the ground as they are dropping. That had to be the strangest smith fight I ever had. I just watched him die out of poison while I stared into his eyes. Level 12 brings Double Throw, an ability to throw both potions in quick succession with additional damage and rating, which does not affect potions, but I am also getting new Fire Potion, Exploding Potion, with more damage and larger radius. You know what they say, Fire Potion a day keeps Andariel away, but Antidote never hurts. That's why it took me 2 trips to town and a lot of throwing to bring the Spider Queen to her death. In the end, it wasn't very hard, but considering the fact that I only had tier 1 fire potions, it was still very slow. First attempt at Radament was unsuccessful, mostly because I don't have enough ammunition, so trips to farm are frequent as before, but then I did a couple of trips and I think I am set for at least some time. Let's try it again, shall we? Now with exploding potions in both of my hands, I was able to overthrow him. And aside from dropping a book of skill which gives me additional skill point, he also dropped set light belt, which is Arctic binding. In this act, of course, you need 3 items: Horadric cube, staff and viper amulet. The former one can be found here in the House of the Dead. Unfortunately, it only needs to be done in this difficulty. Seeing how much ammo I need now, another possibility to store items will be very much appreciated. Going through Maggot Lair, I hit level 16, and that gives me an access to another potion, Choking Gas Potion, which has triple the damage of the Strangling Gas Potion, which I'm still using, so let's test this one. Oh yes, this will do. What is really important is its area of effect. It is massive, things are dying rapidly and usually it only requires 1 potion. Now staff is acquired and Cold Worm dropped this insane rare amulet. It is kind of unbelievable at this level. Once I dealt with Fangskin and his cronies, it was time to collect the amulet and warp back to town. And now for level 17 I have another treat, which is stealth armor, as there is no reason not to do it, as it is just mandatory step of every, and I mean every run. Unless you are playing without rune words or, I don't know, maybe you don't know they exist. But at this point, you know, sorry for spoilers, but game has been out for some time. Hey, catch! So you remember when I told you that throwing mastery and double throw are increasing damage and attack rating? Yeah, that does not apply to potions. One thing, they always hit, and 2, this is only for physical damage, so mastery here is only to have seemingly infinite ammo, so for now, points need to go into other passives like increased stamina and iron skin. While doing some leveling in Canyon of the Magi, a set full helm dropped. That is Eisenhart's Horns. Not very useful, although damage reduced is pretty nice. Now let's chuck some thawing potions to increase the cold resistance and see how this goes. My plan was to poison him and then just double throw with exploding potions, but those were seemingly not harming him at all. Not sure why, was it because of the Animential Castle or overall slow, but poison seems to be working just fine. So I played a kiting game, throw a poison flask and wait for the effect. Repeat that for about 5 minutes straight until Duriel is killed. He dropped me a very nice pair of rare gloves. Okay, this is really bothering me. Alcor is an alchemist. Then why the hell does he not sell those harmful potions? Also, why he is not selling a regular potions? This is really stupid, and I swear that vendors were selling those in the older versions of the game. Another thing is that you cannot combine 3 tier 1 potions into next one, so they become obsolete once you get a next better one. At least Alcor is good for one thing, giving me potion of life for that sweet 20 maximum life in exchange for Jade figurine, or rather golden bird. Sazark kinda gave up on life as he was just waiting for his death in the corner, while I was constantly throwing potions, and just when his life was almost over, he snapped out of depression to fight, but it was already too late. So it seems that exploding potions are not doing fire damage exclusively. As you can see, I am damaging this ghoul who is fire immune, purely with exploding variant, and it seems that, as per Wiki, it does split damage with physical. Curious. On my way to grab Kalim's brain in Flayer's dungeon, a set splint mail dropped. That is Berserker's Hauberk, that gives +1 to Barbarian skills and it reduces magic damage by 2. And normally this is beyond bad, but I am seriously considering of using it here. Whole swarm of women lunged at me in the ruined temple in order to stop me from getting Lameson's book. That effort was futile, and on top of that, Battlemate Serena dropped a unique Morning Star, Blood Rise. Now to sewers to grab the heart. Surprisingly, there wasn't much resistance, and to Travinkal we go. I got really lucky as on the temple's doorstep 4 of the members were waiting for me. In those 4, there were 2 elites, so fortunately I didn't need to go deeper to get the flail. At level 20 there is new and last fire potion available, so I am at level 23 and that did not drop once in this act, so for Mephisto I am left with the same strategy as previously. Poison him and then double throw exploding potions until he is dead. Fight isn't really that hard. Once I stand far enough, there is a decent chance to avoid the damage, and because I don't like doing any mode tricks or whatever as they trivialize the combat, this whole endeavor took about 5 minutes. Plains of Despair are home of the fallen angel Isual, aka the Big Blue Devil. That is my next target, as reward is as always 2 skill points, which in this point in the game is massive, but this guy is made out of vibranium or something, because the whole fight is taking longer than most of the bosses. I kid you not, I stood in place for 15 minutes and visited the town twice to restock on potions, but I brought him down so I can claim my prize at Tyriel's. Looking for the entrance to the River of Flame, a set longsword dropped, that is of course Cleglow's Tooth, with that crispy 50% deadly strike chance. Hephasto is scary, especially when you are playing hardcore. He can dish out surprising amount of damage in no time, and in this attempt I ran out of exploding potions mid-fight and had to finish it with only poison, making it drag even longer. For that effort I got rewarded with Amrun. Level 24 brings 2 important skills. First is of course Battle Orders, which massively increases maximum life, mana and stamina for set amount of time, and then another passive, Increased Speed, which increases run and walking speed. I don't think I ever had more painful time in Chaos Sanctuary. I still do not have the best potions to throw, and on top of that, I mostly run out of exploding potions, so I am relying on poison to do its job. And while Vizier and Desace were not that bad, guess what Infector and his Venom Lords are resistant to? You guessed it, fire and poison. Even though all this was bad, Diablo was even worse. I only had poison potions by then, so fight took 20 minutes of running around waiting for damage to happen, run some more warp to town for some healing potions, so on and so forth. Funny enough, I had fire protection shrines spawned, so when I inevitably took damage, it wasn't that bad. He dropped a set heavy belt, Irata's Court, and set light gauntlets, Arctic Mitts. Also unique spiked shield, swordback hold. Now this is a bit unexpected, but finally tier 3 poison potion has dropped that is available at level 24. Rancid gas potion. Deals 96 damage, so it is not that much more powerful than the previous one, but its area of effect is even bigger, and hey, at this point any bump in damage is like gold. 2 monsters after that, oil potion dropped, which is tier 3 of fire potion. It deals 26 to 64 fire damage and is available at level 20, so it hurts so much more that I didn't drop it before. It has massive explosion radius and it is a very welcome addition. By the time I got to Shank, supply of both of my new weapons ran out and I had to resort to whatever I had left from the Diablo fight. And so Overseer choked yet again on the poisonous vapors of the choking gas potion. Frigid Highlands are temporary home of the Foster Barbarians, wasting away in those pens. Good for you boys that I found some more oil potions because you would be spending Christmas here. Those doors are poison immune and that scares me a lot. On my way to Frozen River I found this set plated belt, which is Saigon's wrap. With Frozenstein dead, I freed Anya to get that amazing scroll to get 10% to all resistances, and got pretty nice class specific helmet from the damsel herself, with double resistances and some life. That was the dullest, most boring and drawn out Ancients fight ever. Because I am not using mana potions, I have so much life with battle orders, they cannot really kill me. And I am killing them faster with my stare than those potions. although I must say that I think Korlik was crying by the end when he was basically trying to cut down a tree that is tossing some stupid stuff his way that he is dying from. I dealt with waves without much pain and realized that I am almost level 30, so I wanted to do something nice and got that level to get two final abilities: Battle Command, which improves skill levels for set time, and Natural Resistance, which gives passive resistance boost. But what I really wanted was the one with lower resist charges. But what I didn't know is that even though lower resist is at level 30 spell, the charges makes that weapon seems to be available at level 36 at least, so my dream was shattered. So Bale now, and this wasn't as bad as Diablo, especially that for this last act I had better potions, I mean literally the best I can get, and I cycled between poison and double throw all potions to deal direct damage, and honestly I could not tell a difference in damage. So since double throw requires mana that Bale is burning every second, I could not be bothered to use it and had mana potions to refresh the shouts and kept throwing what I had, eventually killing him after 15 minutes. He dropped a unique mace Crash Flange. Oh, the irony. My setup by the end includes stealth armor, random rares with resistances, and Saigon's belt. I have most of my points into vitality, making my health pool with shouts cap at almost 1000, max throat mastery, and got points here and there. This was a weird challenge. I know it was way shorter than what I normally do. It was worse at the very beginning, where I had to spend hours farming ammunition just to be able to progress, and once I got enough levels and points into throwing mastery, it became much easier. Also, the leaps in damage from one potion tier to another is massive, and really surprising how good poison potions are almost at any given moment against packs of monsters. Of course, I am talking only normal here and only when monsters are not resistant to that type of damage. You could of course improve the damage by using a lower resist, but let's be honest, by that point you will not be using this. Still, it was very much more time consuming than I thought. Thank you very much for watching, stay tuned for more games and gaming videos. Like it if you liked it and subscribe for more content. Challenger departs.